Clayton Kershaw reaches 3,000 strikeouts for his career, the 20th pitcher to ever do so. Will he be the last one to do it? My name is Ryan Bershinger. She is Monse Bolaños. He is Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodgers Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodgers Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
An incredible moment. Couldn't have been more dramatic the way that Kershaw achieved his 3,000 strikeout. And Monse and I were lucky enough to be in attendance for it. Beau, you were there in spirit.
Yeah, no, I'll just let you guys talk. Just circle around. I can provide value because I saw Max Muncy's horrific, gruesome injury on the television one time. They wouldn't replay it afterwards because it was the worst thing that they've ever seen. Yeah, apparently.
We're going to talk about the impact of Muncy's injury, but today we're really just going to focus in on Kershaw's achievement, what it means for him, for the Dodgers, for his legacy, and really for all of baseball moving forward. It was an incredible night, one that was rather frustrating, to be honest, because it was a grind. It was a grind to get those 3 strikeouts. We all saw it. Kershaw, ironically, had a season high in swings and misses last night, but not many of those were on the 3rd strike. He was getting plenty of swings and misses building up to that strike 2, and then the White Sox were rather aggressive on strike 2, and Kershaw wasn't exactly putting guys away. Monse, what were your thoughts overall? Really, how did you feel about Kershaw's performance? What were the kind of things you noticed watching him firsthand?
I mean, great experience, right? Beau, you could have been there, try to get you there. So just that our listeners know that you could have gone also. I didn't leave you out of there.
No. I hope I didn't imply that.
No. I wanted to make sure. Yes.
Just if you're listening, don't have kids.
Ryan and I did not sit together. We sat in different parts, but I think frustrating is a good word because, like you said, there were so many moments where he had 2 strikeouts, and you're like, "This is it," and it was like hit, like at the worst times. I thought he was a little nervous. The first couple of pitches, like I think he was a little nervous because every seat was filled by first pitch. I looked at the reserve section, but the corners, the ones that are like always open, everybody was sitting down. Everybody was waiting because in the rare chance that he did it in the first inning, not that everybody that's usually late would have missed it. And you could tell everyone showed up. It was also Yoshinobu Yamamoto bobblehead and very busy. Gates opened early. I think the environment, the air, like everybody knew that you were watching something big. And it was like, I hope we get it because it's going to suck if it doesn't happen at home. And at that point, he only had 1 left. And as the crowd roared in the 6th inning when he did go back out, because everybody was like, is he going to go back out? He's got 1 to go. He has to go back out. And so it's so good. It just felt, you could feel it in the air that it was just such an awesome moment to be a part of.
Yeah, it was an electric, tense evening. It did really feel like a playoff game. And that's because, everybody was super engaged the entire time. After the first 2 innings, with the way things went for Kershaw in the first 2 innings, I was feeling an immense sense of dread. And I think a lot of people around me felt the same way because the groans were audible with every ball that was put in play, whether it was an out or a home run. Regardless of what it was, if it was put in play, everyone was like, "Oh, really?" Like I was getting to the point where he'd have 2 strikes on a guy, and then it would be a fly ball to the outfield, and I'd be like, "Damn it, no!" Even though it's an out, and he's getting out of the inning because he was getting hit pretty hard when he was getting hit. When he was getting outs to work out of that, it was still frustrating. I was fine with the hits because I didn't care really what the result of that game was. It was just about seeing Kershaw do it because this is a July game against the White Sox. Like, who cares what happens? And thankfully, it ended up going fantastically to have the walk-off as the cherry on top. But it was really all about witnessing history and getting to celebrate Kershaw's career in that moment. And eventually getting there, I think in hindsight, the way that it all went down made it even better. Take out the Monse injury again. We're going to talk about that. But this could have easily gone in a way where he got the 3rd strikeout with in the top of the 3rd inning, with 1 out and 2 runners on, where then they stop the game for the ovation and everything. But then now he has to get out of the inning. And that would have kind of sucked the air out of that moment a little bit. The fact that he was able to have it be the last batter that he faced that night, finishing off an inning, it was truly a storybook ending. And this has been kind of the theme of the Dodgers really since Shohei Ohtani arrived, is that there's this immense flair for the dramatic, whether it is us creating that dramatic or somehow things just kind of working out that way for the Dodgers. It's really insane how we've seen it, because obviously we've had incredible moments with Ohtani already, insane walk-off home runs, of course the Freddie Freeman grand slam. We have in this past year and a half the amount of Dodger moments that we will remember forever. It has been an exponential growth, and that is because somehow, some way, this team has a flair for the dramatic where they are rising to the occasion. They never feel out of games. Even last night, again, it's the White Sox, so you figure a 2-run lead is Iowa Sam compared it to in an NBA game where you're down by 2 possessions. It really felt like at that point they're still in it, right. And of course they're going to come back to win. Beau, I want to hear about your experience watching the game and what it was like for you getting to the point where you got this.
I was in a probably a 4x4 office. TV screens probably 10 inches. Yeah, it's great. Air conditioning was kind of shitty, so it was a little uncomfortable. No beer, nothing fun. I personally was never worried about Kershaw not getting it last night, simply because I felt and I think Dave felt that way too, it was basically like Kobe's last game, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's just he is playing however long it takes him to do this. He's not subbing out. We're not pulling Kobe from the game. Whatever it is, it's going to happen. And you have the All-Star break coming up. Glasnow's coming back, I think, Sunday. He got another rehab start on Sunday. Snell is starting to throw to guys. Sasaki's going to start a throwing program. They're getting arms back. Sheehan's coming back and should stay in the rotation.
Yeah.
So if Kershaw's arm fell off last night, it didn't really matter ultimately. What mattered was him getting to 3,000 strikeouts in front of the fans. Mm-hmm. So he would have gone back out there for the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, whatever. If he was going to throw as many pitches as it took last night.
Yeah.
So I was never concerned about that. I did get pushback from the MLB bro, because I did say that I think Clayton Kershaw is probably the greatest Dodger to ever wear the uniform, all things said and done. Mm. And they, of course, suggested Jackie Robinson, which is fine. I understand that. But I think just eras-wise, Clayton Kershaw has been a Los Angeles Dodger for his entire career. Mm-hmm. There's no Brooklyn. There's no Los Angeles. He is an LA Dodger. He is – whatever you think of him, everybody has their own personal beliefs and everything like that. I don't care about all that shit from a couple weeks ago. He is a figure in the community. He's a figure everywhere. He is the LA Dodger to me. So to see him do that is fantastic. And it's just great. It's really just great. And now you get to like go back, and we were talking like the unique thing about baseball is that like no one gives a flying fuck about rings in baseball. Like it doesn't matter ultimately. Like everybody in baseball knows that like it's the hardest thing to do. Like a World Series is the hardest ring to win across every major sport. So you never give guys flack because everybody agrees probably that Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter ever, and he never won a World Series. It just flat out doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So now we can go back and like I saw that chart posted today of all the guys with 3,000 strikeouts. Kershaw's got the best ERA plus.
Yeah.
Like he's all-time great. We're looking at a top 3 guy probably when all is said and done.
Yeah.
So and again, to just witness that in Dodger Blue the entire time, he's the greatest to ever do it in my book.
Yeah. It's like I hope baseball fans, and I assume because of what you just said, that they, even if you hate the Dodgers, you tuned in to catch this moment. Because if you strip away the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is a good dude who has been with one team. If you just don't know who he plays for, but you get these other details of the career and the life, you're like, I should watch this moment. Just as a baseball fan, you should have tuned in to watch, or go back and watch it now. But it was awesome. The Dodgers did a great job with that video too. Like had it ready to roll and play, and it wasn't too long, so it didn't like completely take. You didn't feel like it was too long of a stoppage to get back in the game. I thought everything was like handled well, top to bottom. I got teary-eyed. Oof.
Oh yeah.
It was
I don't know if you guys saw it, but the White Sox broadcast was probably the best broadcast calling the moment.
Really?
Yeah, worth looking up. Their announcer did a great job. Much better than Steven Nelson. Good Lord, man.
I haven't heard Nelson's call. I thought Tim Neverett did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Tim Neverett was good. Would love to hear what Joe Davis would sound like, but why would Joe Davis be there for the biggest moment of the season so far?
Yeah, where is
Stupid.
Joe? Yeah, he's
Stupid.
That's odd. Yeah, no other sports are going on. He might just be on vacation.
Let me text him on accident again.
I know. I think to your point about Kershaw's legacy, because I think you guys are both hitting the nails on the head. It's this couldn't happen to a better person. Bless you. This couldn't happen to a better person. He's truly an incredible figure of the community, by all accounts, an incredibly wonderful guy. And that's why, like, there's a couple things I want to mention here. First, the negative. That's why I cannot, and it is people falling victim to just lazy sports talk, where they hear Clayton Kershaw's name and when it's discussed about greatness, and they're like, oh, well, in the postseason. And we have discussed ad nauseum. There's a ton of context to Kershaw's postseason numbers, where many times those starts were inflated by runs because he was the only pitcher worth a damn on that staff. They had a terrible bullpen behind him, so Don Mattingly would leave him in the game as long as he possibly could, because he couldn't feel good about going to anybody else in the pen. And when he did, those guys would come in, and then the inherited runners would score, thereby inflating Kershaw's numbers. We also know what happened in 2017, where he pitched 7 innings of 1-run ball in Game 1 of the 2017 World Series. His first World Series start, he absolutely dominated. In Game 7 of the World Series, he came in relief and pitched 4 shutout innings. In Game 5 of the World Series, which was in Houston facing a team that was cheating, he, in the first time in his life, wasn't able to protect a 7-run lead. And that screwed with his numbers because, again, in Houston, oddly enough, something that has never happened to him before happened while he was dominating every other moment he was on the mound at Dodger Stadium in that series.
Crazy.
The point is,
that still bothers me so much. Like, that should be the biggest red flag to anybody that ever says anything. Like, you want to talk about illegitimate titles? Like, 2017 is right there.
Yeah.
That was still Kershaw in his prime. He was still top 5, top 1 in the game at that point. Got 0 swing and miss on any off-speed pitches in that game. Like, that's stupid. you are so obviously cheating.
Yeah.
Like and to play victim ever is just so insane to me. That team should have been disbanded.
Right. And really, Kershaw's legacy is the biggest gripe that I have with 2017. If they win that World Series, we don't talk the postseason numbers about Kershaw are not brought up nearly as much.
Never.
Because what he did in that series, if he doesn't have a team cheating in Game 5 in their ballpark, who knows how that game goes instead? And if they win that game, which Game 2 and Game 5 were two of the wackiest games in World Series history, and they both went in favor of the team that was cheating. So ultimately, Kershaw is the one that, like, that's what I feel the worst about. Is my anger about 2017 is really about the fact that they took that one away from Kershaw, because now people will naturally be like, well, Kershaw has 2 rings, but it was 2 years where he didn't do much. Whatever, who cares?
I mean,
Those are they are legacy awards at that point. He deserves them because of everything he's done for that team. But speaking more onto Kershaw's legacy here, you see behind me, I have Andy McCullough's book, The Last of His Kind. And one of these days I will take it off my shelf and actually read it. But right now it has been a wonderful prop. I've heard that it's a great book. Andy McCullough's a great writer. He covered the Dodgers, I believe, during that 2017 season as well. He covered them for a while for The Athletic. Now he just covers baseball abroad for The Athletic. But I think that title for Kershaw is very poignant, because I think there is a very real chance that he's the last person to reach 3,000 strikeouts. We know that Chris Sale is like 2570 something. But this also requires Chris Sale, who is 36 years old, to stay completely healthy for at least 3 more seasons. And this is a guy who was practically out of baseball for 3 years. And then he came back, had an incredible season with the Braves last year, a well-deserved Cy Young. And if he continues on that path, he could get there. He could. But it's hard for me to fully buy that, because Sale, just like Kershaw, is a guy with a lot of wear and tear on that arm, with a funky delivery, with a lot of things working against him that would cause you to question his resilience, yet he's been able to persevere for much of his career. The same with Kershaw. Obviously, the last few years for Kershaw, the mileage on the arm and everything, especially his back, all of his back issues, like, it's been a grind to get to 3,000, but because of how incredibly successful his peak was, he was able to get there. If you look at the scope of baseball, and this isn't just a conversation about like pitcher abilities, it's just the way that pitching is now. How many times have we talked about the way that pitcher injuries have really resonated throughout the sport? Every team is dealing with it, and that's because this is something that starts at the developmental level. You have to go to like travel ball, like pre-high school. It's the way the sport is now, in the way that professional programs and scouting departments and colleges and high schools want to develop velocity, because they know that that's what will get people to the next level. However, in doing that, you are putting a lot of strain on young arms, where by the time they get to the majors, it's expected that guys are going to get Tommy John. It's starting to be expected that they're going to get it twice. And because of that, also, we never use this phrase with baseball, but it's really true. Load management is everywhere in baseball when it comes to pitchers. The reason why guys aren't putting a ton of mileage on their arms is not only because of injuries, but we're seeing it right now with Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell, where how many times have we said all that matters is if they're healthy for the postseason? So guys will take months off from throwing, even if it's a minor injury, because teams like the Dodgers know it's really just important to have them in the postseason. So because of these different factors, it's hard to imagine anyone in the future of baseball really being able to pitch at the volume that's necessary to get to 3,000 strikeouts. So I really think there's a shot that Kershaw's the last to do it. And he's a true unicorn, because he does not rely on velocity. He really never has. It's his incredible command, his incredible control of his breaking stuff. It's pure deception, and you just don't see that much anymore. And guys who are able to do that, they can't do it to the level that Kershaw did in his peak. No one. It's guys like Ryan Yarbrough. Like these are like middling starters. Nobody is going to be able to do it the way Kershaw has. So he truly is the last of his kind, because I don't think we're ever going to see this again.
No. I would put the chances at almost like 5%. You never want to say never, but like, yeah, dude, I was having this conversation last night. Like, if you think that Tariq Skubal and Paul Skeens are never going to miss a season because of elbow surgery, I have a bridge in Brooklyn that I would love to sell to you, because it's guaranteed to happen. It is going to happen at some point. And you're just, you're not going to see it. You're just not going to see it. And that's another reason why we should celebrate Clayton Kershaw today. Like, you really are, much like witnessing Shohei Ohtani last year. Like, you're watching someone do something that's just, you're never going to see somebody do that again.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I think a lot of things have to go really right for Chris Sale to do it. Like, it's like so many things have to go his way in order for him, because he's 36 years old. So it's just like, of course there's a chance, but I don't see it happening either, which is crazy. Crazy.
There is one guy that has a chance. He's not currently on a roster, but
there we go. That's where I was like, where are we going here?
Is he even on a Japanese roster?
No, he's not. He's not. He last pitched in 2023, and he's not officially retired, but he is one of the all-time greats. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's sitting on 2,979, so he needs 21 more.
What is it, like Bartolo Colon?
Zach Greinke.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Huh.
That's crazy that he didn't get
He should
it.
slide to the Dodgers.
He really should. He really should. Like, just see what happens.
The Dodgers and come do it.
He's a weirdo, but like, I fully believe, even in 2023, he still had a positive WAR. Like, just try it, dude. You're 21 short. Just see what happens.
He was throwing like 65-mile-an-hour breaking balls.
He averaged 6.1 strikeouts per 9 in 2023. Like, what? Yeah, just give it a shot, dude.
That would be fun. That would be
great.
We just watched last weekend Seth Lugo throwing at like 67 against the Dodgers, and it was incredibly effective. So you know what? Like, Zach can do it. I want to revisit last night's game a little bit more, I think, because again, I think these are the main points about Kershaw's legacy. Oh, one note I wanted to mention that really does contextualize this well is the fact that I believe Jason Stewart had mentioned this on the show today. There are more pitchers with 300 wins than there are with 3,000 strikeouts.
Yeah,
and we're never going to see 300 wins again. Like, absolutely not. So just to like really put that into perspective, just how impressive what Kershaw has done. It's remarkable. And it should be celebrated because of just how special and how unique it is. I thought, Beau, as you mentioned earlier, that Dave was going to let Kershaw go out there to die. And I was so nervous. I think the most important strikeout in that game was number 2999. Because that was when in the 5th inning, he was laboring, his pitch count was getting up there. He still wasn't. He had 1 strikeout at that point. Shout out Miguel Vargas, true Dodger legend.
Oh, dude.
Thank you,
Miguel. I wanted it to be him all 3 times so bad. You know how funny that would have been? Man.
Miguel got a nice ovation. The crowd gave him. I don't know if it was during his at bat. It was when he was announced in the starting lineup. He got a nice ovation. Why not? Hey, I feel bad for Miguel because he did get the World Series ring. He did play on the team last season, so he got a ring. But now he has to play for the White Sox for like 5 years. And he was like so clearly miserable when it first happened. There were shots of him just sitting in the dugout by himself, being like, "Oh my god, how did this happen?
How did I go from to this?" Yeah.
Poor Miguel, but he helped out. He gave Clayton that first strikeout. So shout out Miguel, thank you. But in the 5th inning there, when the pitch count was getting up there and the outs that he was getting, thankfully he got a couple like quick outs, but again, like these are balls being put in play, and I hated that. With 2 outs left in that inning, I said, if Clayton doesn't end this inning with a strikeout, I think he's going to get pulled, because 5 innings with only 1 strikeout to show for it, with as many pitches as he was at that point, it felt like the point where Dave was going to be kind of like, all right, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like it's happening. I gave you the shot, but we might have to. And you could tell, like, guys were kind of warming in the pen. Guys started at one point, a lefty was throwing and then sat down, because then Kershaw got the strikeout to end that inning, because that was important, because if with him finishing that inning with a strikeout, knowing he was now only 1 away, that was where I'm sure Dave said, okay, you're getting it. We're making sure this happens, because then the lefty sat down in the pen. Mike Tauchman was leading off the next inning. So it was clear that Kershaw would at least be left in for Tauchman, the lefty, and then there were 2 righties after him. Then Trevino started throwing, so now he's got a right-hander up in the pen. And when he got Tauchman out, I think on the first pitch or in the first couple, that's where I was like, oh shit! Like, now he's gonna go to the right-hander. He was just leaving him in for Tauchman, but then it was clear Dave just wasn't moving. Yeah. And then when he was left in after Tauchman, it was clear that he's getting it. He's getting it tonight. He has to. If he goes to 150 pitches, it's going to happen. Now, what happened next was Michael A. Taylor, who apparently is still in the majors, doubled. And for God knows why, Will Venable told Michael to steal third. And I'm sorry, this was bullshit. This was complete and utter bullshit. I was already kind of being a little fed up with the way the White Sox were handling it when they laid down a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah.
Like, knowing the context of this game, they handed an out over with the sacrifice bunt, which is like, why you don't need to play this way. I understand you're trying to win, but also not smart strategically, given the fact that you guys were hitting Kershaw. What are you doing handing him an out when you guys were actually being able to come through offensively? And then now they get a runner in scoring position with a 2-run lead, and they send him to try to steal third when thankfully he was thrown out. We'll talk about what happened with Monse there, but idiotic decision that it was clear that they were trying to take advantage of the moment. The only reason why you're doing that is because you think the pitcher, Clayton, is so wrapped up in the moment trying to get that strikeout that he's not paying attention to the runner. So you tried to take advantage of it by sending him. And then you get thrown out at third because it's a fucking bonehead decision. And now we don't know what the status of Max Muncy is. The team is saying that it's a bone bruise. Given the fact that his knee went the other direction, I'm finding that hard to believe. Well, hopefully, maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Muncy did speak, and he said that he's going to be out 6 weeks and that there's no ligament damage. So it looks like they avoided the worst case scenario. Again, I never trust the doctors on the Dodgers, so I'm assuming that was like a homunculus that the Dodgers created out of Max Muncy and were like speaking through his corpse. I do want to go back real quick. Just like, you know what else? The other reason why I knew Dave was not going to pull Kershaw because he was going to get that moment. You go back to Monday, June 9th with the Padres, or going to San Diego to play the Padres. I think the Dodgers they had like a 1-game lead in the division, 1.5. It's now like 9.5 because they beat they took 2 of 3 from San Diego. They took 2 of 3 from the Giants, and they took 3 of 4 from San Diego. Like, they are going to shocker, I'm spoiling this for you guys. They're going to win the NL West. Yeah, they have like a 9.5 game lead. The Padres have not been good all year. The Giants are fake. I don't know how to tell you this. So yeah, it didn't matter if they won or lost last night. It truly didn't matter. So he was going to let Kershaw get that. Which makes the White Sox doing that all the more Bush League. And Kershaw was correct in calling it out too.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, in our area, I was like yelling, and I was like, "We don't care if you give up runs, just get the strikeouts. Like it doesn't matter if you give up 15 runs, nobody's gonna care." And obviously, the cherry on top is winning, and the way it was done with Freddie Freeman, once again, a big moment. So it really was almost too perfect, like you said. The end of an inning just wrapped it up instead of like pausing it there. It all flowed so well, despite the anxiety and stress that we felt throughout the game.
Yeah. It's amazing. It was super tense. I didn't eat or drink anything for for the entirety of Kershaw's time in the game. I was genuinely nervous, and I was going to be so mad if it didn't happen because I'm like, what? How? But God, it was all worth it because I think having that tension and that frustration then create this moment that, again, having Muncy's injury happen right before it then did really put a damper on it. But then once Kershaw got the strikeout, no, everyone erupted, and it was amazing. Yeah, we were able
to. I had to listen to that down in the tunnel.
He's still writhing in pain, and now the entire crowd is standing for. It was. I mean, I think it was definitely the coolest moment I've ever witnessed at the stadium. So thank you, Monse, for making that happen. Yes. That was just amazing. All right, let's wrap it up here because really that's all that matters is Kershaw getting this milestone. There's a lot of other things going on in the team, but we can talk about that next time. Yeah. Okay, this is all about Clayton reaching this incredible milestone and putting a cherry on top of a first ballot Hall of Fame career. He should be unanimous, by the way. I don't think anybody has said that.
Oh, God, dude, if anybody does,
it has to be unanimous.
I will find their address.
Yeah. All right. So for Monse Bolaños and for Beau Benson, I think we're losing Monse a little bit on the connection. So it's okay, Monse.
He's back.
We got you. So my name is Ryan Bershinger. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. We love any and all support. Follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So we will come back next week, probably right ahead of the All-Star break, or maybe in the All-Star break. I don't know exactly when it's in the.
No, we'll be back before the All-Star break. It's 10 days.
10 days from now. Okay. Thank God Will Smith is starting. That is very well deserved. Great that Freddie is starting as well. Ohtani. Yeah,
that guy.
He made it.
And I assume Andy Pages will be named to the All-Star game.
Pages needs to be.
He should be.
Yes,
he better be.
So hopefully we'll be talking about that next time because I think the reserves are announced this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So again, she's Monse, he's Beau, I'm Ryan. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.